Before we even had this whole debate about a $15 minimum wage being proposed as part of the, so-called COVID stimulus. So before that was a thing, well, we just passed this in Florida, right? We had a constitutional amendment. It's going to $15 per hour. One of the concerns, of course, well, what's this going to do, especially to a lot of small businesses, to have a mandated wage at $15 per hour? Joining us to talk about this, Matt Rosen. He's an expert on said matters. He also happens to be the founder and CEO of Aleda. And Matt, good to have you. So, first, when we talk about automation, we've already seen it in many respects. When you have an increase in cost of labor, you have an offset in many instances with technology. Now, and in other cases, that can end up being positive. A lot of people thought the internet would take every job out there, but net of it all, while we have lost jobs, there are more jobs that have been created because of it. What are your thoughts about where this is all going?
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show, Brian. Since the dawn of a lot of industrialization from Henry Ford and the assembly line, people are always worried when there's a new technology, is it going to take my job? And the answer is, for a lot of work, it does take jobs away, but it adds new jobs in the process. And I think what you're seeing is the latest wave of innovation is in robotics, both physical robots as well as robots that are virtual within software are already here in many ways. And I do think that, increasing minimum wage has the opportunity to accelerate some of the use of that technology. But I think you're going to see an equal amount of jobs created on the other side of it for those that are taken away, as has always happened with new technology waves that hit our society and our businesses.
The one difference between the two, and this is where I have my concerns, is there's a difference in taking advantage of generally free markets here in the United States to innovate and to bring technology about that then creates these other opportunities while maybe making certain jobs or even industries obsolete, versus government mandates, because one actually competes against the other. We have innovation because we often don't have government mandates forcing things a certain direction. So at the point, though, where you have government mandates that end up forcing some of these behaviors, that does have the potential to actually cause a negative economic impact for those businesses that might be most impacted by a raise in the minimum wage, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't disagree. For small businesses, especially for restaurants, service industry jobs, I think it is going to be difficult on them. And I think you're going to see them turn to chatbots to take orders. I think you're going to see them turn to kiosks for ordering. And for those service workers that are going to be affected, I think, there needs to be something to do to retool them. There's a lot of resources out there, but I think this is somewhere where the government could step in on, helping people, give subsidies to help people learn to code, to write bots, to learn machine learning algorithms. There's also a huge shortage of tradespeople right now, from electricians to plumbers to truck drivers. So there are a lot of industries that are really needing workers, but I think there needs to be some intentionality between the government and also, the workers that are displaced in figuring out what kind of the next career is going to be.
Well, to your point, the most effective related programs I've seen are when we end up having our schools that work in conjunction with industries, to where you have these programs. You complete this 2-year program, for example, this particular school, then, you're going to have a job. You're going to have a job on the other end. And, here's what you can look forward to. And here's the kind of money you can earn. We've had a lot of success with that in Florida, in South Florida in particular. You think that's more the model going forward?
I think it's going to have to be. If we're going to displace people with higher wages and automation, I think there needs to be some responsibility taken to help retool and reskill the workers. I do think workers themselves have a responsibility. In fact, you can go to this kind of funny website I found called Will Robots Take My Job? And you can see the likelihood that your job is going to be taken by a robot. And I think there's a lot of resources out there. We've taken a lot of people at Aleda. We're a technology consulting firm that helps clients automate their processes. And we've taken people from a lot of different walks of life and put them through a 3-month coding school. And then we get them to work building software for our clients, building robots for our clients that really help them automate process. So I think there is a lot of opportunity for the workers to retool and use their skills in different ways.
Yeah, the challenge does come in, though. There's an aptitude element to it as well. For somebody who has the aptitude to code, that's terrific. Obviously, some people just don't have that type of aptitude. What are the thoughts about people who might not have those types of related skills?
Yeah, if a career in coding and computers is not for you, again, that's where I think there's a lot of opportunity in the trades. Kind of like what you did in South Florida. I think teaching people some basic skills, whether it's carpentry, whether it's plumbing, whether it's electricians, Truck driving is not for everyone, but again, those are industries that have massive shortage of workers. And I think for those that maybe don't have the aptitude to code, looking at other opportunities such as that to learn a trade.
Well, good information, Matt. Appreciate the time as well.